The words philosophy and Splatoon probably don't fit together in the minds of most. Why would it? This is a silly Squid Game. Why would you ever think about philosophy? Just walk forward and kill your enemies. There's nothing deeper there. Personally, I disagree. When it comes to directing a competitive team that you want to stick around for the long term, there is something deeper that needs to be explored. I am of the opinion that a team philosophy is what separates the teams that stick together and improve from those who fall apart after a few weeks. It's not mechanics, it's not decision making, it's nothing related to how you play in the game itself. If you've been active in or around the competitive Splatoon scene, you've probably seen this exact situation play out. Things start out great, with everyone on the team being motivated, maybe you're winning the majority of your matches, you're all getting along, and it seems like the sky is the limit. But then it happens. The losses, the hitting a brick wall, the frustration. Maybe your team isn't communicating the way they should be and misunderstandings are happening consistently. Maybe someone isn't quite pulling their weight while everyone else on the team is. Whatever the case is, this is when frustration starts to build up and the team starts to fall apart. This happens so often. It's almost impossible to meet someone in the scene who didn't have this happen to them at some point, myself included. This is the exact reason why my first team, Ocean's Edge, fell apart within only a few months. So, why exactly does this happen? What can be done to prevent it? Well, you're in luck because I'm here to tell you why. Quick disclaimer, this is just one person's interpretation on team philosophy. I'm sure there are others who might have different thoughts or ideas and might disagree with what I have to say here. A team philosophy is your team's shared belief system. It should answer questions like, why are we playing together? What matters most to us? How do we handle our mistakes? What kind of environment do we want to create? When a team doesn't have clear answers to these questions, every player will bring their own expectations and ideals. And obviously it's important for everyone on the team to have a voice in all goals and expectations, but it can easily cause problems if not addressed properly. To see what I mean, let's take a look at some examples. This is Griffin, a 10th player who wants to push his weapon to the top, grind every open level tournament he can, and improve quickly. This is Clownfish, a shot player who simply wants to play with their friends. Clownfish is fine if their team does just one scrim a week or even simply just plays Anarchy Open. And this is Sweater Weather, a dually player who gets tilted easily and expects perfection from everyone else on the team. Now, let's imagine what were to happen if these players were to lose an important set. One team member would be frustrated at wasted practice, another would be confused as to why it's so serious, and the last would be silently blaming their teammates. While no one here is technically wrong, the team itself is still going to collapse. In this scenario, the players are not all on the same page. They want different things out of the competitive scene, and over time that's going to cause conflict. A team philosophy prevents this from happening by making sure everyone is on the same page before things have a chance to go wrong. Another quick disclaimer, obviously a team philosophy is not going to save your team in every single case. Your philosophy shouldn't just be a single set of tactics or a strategy. It's the core values that each teammates adhere to, be it during the game or in practice. It's how you approach every match, how you approach your teammates, and how you approach your mindset. As an example of something that a team philosophy can help with, let's take communication as an example. A solid team philosophy means that each team member understands their role both as a player and as a team member. If the philosophy is based around the ideal that they want to push themselves for improvement without worrying about results, then they'll start playing in as many tournaments as they can to get practice against different opponents. Where communication would come into play here is that the team will emphasize keeping in touch and discussing when things go wrong or not. They might put their philosophy into play by having weekly or bi-weekly team meetings where anyone can bring up any issue. It can also look like long VOD reviews where they discuss strategy. As another example, a team where the philosophy is based on individual improvement over group improvement might play less scrims for practice and focus solely on X rank. While having a philosophy is good, it's also important for a team to have an overarching goal, something to give the philosophy direction. It's good to form a philosophy to understand why you play, but a goal is there to be the proof that your philosophy can succeed. I would personally caution teams against having a goal focused on winning a single tournament. Podium placements are difficult to do no matter what level the tournament is or what level you're playing at, and it can often lead to frustration and low morale if you're consistently trying to win, say, from the ink up, but you keep falling short. Rather, your goals could be more, for lack of a better word, abstract. It could be developing a unique playstyle, learning how to handle specific challenges or how to fight against a specific comp, or even overcoming another team that you formed a strong rivalry with. Whatever you decide your goal is, always remember it. That's your big picture, and it helps to pull yourself together even after a devastating loss. Improvement in this game isn't always about game knowledge, awareness, or mechanics. It's also about being able to communicate with and trust your teammates. If your philosophy is, we want to improve, not win, then your losses become part of that. They become data, something you can look at from an objective perspective. You feel safer calling out mistakes, reviews become more frequent and more constructive. Players feel more willing to grow and experiment with each other. When you have a mindset that's focused, where everyone is on the same page, every mistake feels like a way you can improve, not a failure. It's my opinion that teams who have a philosophy believe in something together. It creates a team identity, a strong team identity that builds strong synergy between each teammate, and in my opinion, it makes the experience more fun. Mesopolegic's philosophy is still developing as we improve at the game and at our own individual skills, so I can't speak on it as if it's set in stone. That being said, I would like to talk about how our philosophy, or our current philosophy, determined how we conducted tryouts when we were looking for a new anchor player. When we were looking for a new teammate, the basics was to find someone that we got along with. Everyone who tried out for Mesopolegic, or at the very least was interested in trying out, met that baseline, but it's not enough to just be a good friend. Good friends don't always make good teammates. Obviously, we also needed to make sure that the weapons they played fit with us as well. That being said, the main characteristic we looked for was their mentality. Not just if they didn't tilt, but their mentality and how they approached the game. It's one thing to say, I want to improve at this game, and it's another to actively take steps to achieve that. We wanted a teammate that would look at this game from the perspective of an analyst, someone who would always ask questions about what they could have done better, who would actively discuss with the rest of us about their thoughts and feelings about what all of us could do better. We wanted someone who is receptive to feedback and let that feedback change their gameplay. Not just feedback from our coach, but from everyone else as well. Our coach isn't always around to help out, which means we didn't want someone who would take the words of our coach as gospel and only figure out what they could improve on with them around. We wanted someone who would be an active participant in their individual growth, not someone who waited to be told what to do or what to improve on. Speaking of team identity, it isn't limited just to the weapon compositions or strategies or the way you brand yourself on social media. It can also be how you approach the game. And when you know each individual member's approach, you can predict what they're going to do, how they'll react to certain situations, what risks they'll take, and more. So, how exactly do you build a team philosophy? My team is constantly going back and reevaluating what our goals are, since it's important to consistently be on the same page. You shouldn't just ask what your team philosophy is once and then never talk about it again. The first step I recommend is sitting down and asking some key questions. Namely, what's your main goal as a team? Is it to win a tournament? To break into a certain level of play? What values might go along with this goal? How do you plan on handling losses, or otherwise dealing with the disappointment that comes with falling short of your goals? What behavior do you think is most important for the team? What behavior do you consider unacceptable? What do you expect from each other as teammates and as friends? At the end of the day, mechanics might win you fights, but philosophy is what keeps a team alive. If you want your team to last longer, to improve faster, and to actually enjoy the journey you have together, then don't just practice your aim. Define what you stand for, define who you are, and define what you want. Special thanks to my friends Firestar, Yargi, and my teammate Random for taking on alter egos and helping me with recording. Additional thanks to Firestar, Blueberry, Fruit, and others for providing me with replay codes as background footage for this video. Thank you to everyone who supports Mesopolegic, and I'll see you all next time.